I am so excited to start our first episode of the podcast. My guest is Lena, my wife. She is and a business partner. She started her own company, LV Real Estate Group. She sells all of our houses. She helps multiple clients in the area where we live. And she's probably one of the few people who can tell me that I'm completely wrong and actually get away with it. So, welcome to the first episode.
Is that officially in my job description? Thank you.
There is a lot more, but we'll start with that.
Okay.
Okay. So, a few questions that I wanted to ask you to get this going. Who is a better salesperson, you or me?
Well, me, obviously.
Obviously. Um, who do you think are more difficult to work with, builders or realtors?
I think builders are more difficult to work with
Why is that?
because most of the agents just have an aligned goal of making the deal come together. And many builders tend to be less collaborative, a little bit less organized, not always having the information we need as agents to make things happen and propel something forward. Um, so I would say it's the builders
Okay.
that are more difficult to work with.
Okay. Um, what is something that I do in a business that drives you absolutely crazy?
That be just limited to one thing or multiple things?
Let's start with one for this episode.
I would say probably asking me what I think we should do and then not waiting for me to think about it and give you a response, but actually going ahead and implementing it your way. And then I come in totally surprised, hating it, and then we have to redo it. I think that
That
would be, yeah.
yeah, that sounds about right. Sometimes it happens, but for the most part, I listen to what you say.
Yes, but you like to rush through some of the decisions where I like to take the time and think about them.
That's right. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about how you got into real estate because that's really not your education from the beginning. That's not what you went for in college, and that's not something that you started doing when you started your career, right? So talk a little bit about your background, starting
My
from college and then first couple of jobs until you got into real estate.
Yes, I'll make this super brief. Graduated with a business degree from Suffolk University. Um, Went into corporate, was a web developer, then went into user experience and somewhat of design. Always liked pretty things, beautiful things. Always liked to think about how things function and come together, build things. But in the end, I found that corporate just wasn't fast enough, just wasn't happening enough. So real estate was always something I've been interested in. I've had my broker's license since 2004. Joined the real estate world full time in I think 2014 or 15 and never looked back. I love this line of work because there's always something happening, never a dull moment. Even when you put a calendar and a schedule together for a day, it never goes as planned. And I really do enjoy that.
Yes. I think there is a saying that no war plan survives first contact with the enemy. And I think that, or it's similar to what Mike Tyson said, which is everyone has a plan and then, until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
So this is the similarity. I feel like with your real estate and with real estate development, it's the same thing. We put together a plan, everything looks good on paper, first contact, and things go completely different. And there is a certain skill and discipline that person needs to have to be successful to be able to bring things over the finish line.
Yeah, you just have to be open to pivoting, being creative, and not being attached to an outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When did you realize that real estate is something that you seriously want to pursue as your career?
I think I realized that back in the early 2000s when I got my real estate license. I've always been passionate about it. I love working with people. I love collaborating. I love the energy. I love the industry. I love beautiful homes. I love the emotion that goes into it and being able to guide people through this very emotional phase of buying or selling their home, um, and managing the overall process. No transaction is the same, no client is the same. I'm always learning. I
Mhm.
love that part of it. The industry is changing and has been changing. Everything's evolving, and just staying on top of things or ahead of the game is, and being strategic is probably what keeps me going every day.
Love it. When did you what was there this one transaction where you received that paycheck and you thought to yourself, okay, this is real. This is business now.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that I ever thought of a pay. I don't know if I ever thought of it like that. I think it was more when I walked away after completing a transaction, looking back and
Mhm.
saying, wow, this was super complicated.
Yes.
This was new, and I made it happen, and everybody walked away feeling good and happy about it. And I think that's when I really felt like, okay, I could really do this. I mastered the skill of doing something very complex,
Hmm.
because real estate's not an easy field,
No,
and
it's
all
not.
these transactions are not easy, whether you're dealing with, especially when it comes to new construction, pre-selling new construction.
Hmm. Recently I read statistics that probably around 80% of brokers in Massachusetts don't have any business at all,
Hmm.
or I said brokers, agents,
Agents, yeah.
agents, and maybe brokers. They don't have they have no business at all, or it's just really like minimal. What do you think separates those that, let's say, make $25,000 a year versus those that make, say, $500,000 a year in commission?
Oh, I think there are a couple of factors. Number one is probably when you're a new agent, you really have to, you either have to have your network and your connections that will refer you business,
Hmm.
or you have to be able to hustle and not be afraid of hearing no from people. That's really it. And then I would say the other thing would be, again, hustle, personality, and eventually, hopefully, you develop the skill to bring it all together.
Yes, no, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I think that the things that I'm seeing, you meet a lot of people, and a lot of people are just kind of like waiting for things to come to them. And
Yes.
it's just, I think it applies to any business. Like, no one is going to come to you. Like, you just have
No,
to
you have
go.
to, yeah, you have to go out there. You have to be proactive. You have to be collaborative. You have to, we're in the service industry. Whether you're servicing a buyer, you're servicing a seller, we're servicing.
Yeah.
And you really have to make people's problems go away.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well said.
That's what it comes down to. That's why people hire you. And that's how you become the 20%.
Yeah. If you had to start all over again tomorrow, zero clients, zero listings, what would you do in your first 30 to 60 days?
I would join I would join a team, and I would hire a business coach that would help me go from zero to the next level. because everything I've learned and so far has come from a business coach
Yeah, or being mentored.
or being mentored
Yeah.
by other people. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think honestly, I love this answer because it's very concise. It doesn't talk about like the rah rah rah. I would go knock on doors and do all this.
No, because I'm not going to, I have not knocked on any doors. It's not even a common practice here.
Right. Like it really talks about assuming you have a budget for the coach, right? Or if you don't, perhaps you could find an experienced agent who can be at least a mentor to you, right, in the beginning, and then you
Yes.
expand on that. But that's kind of how you do it. You need the guidance.
100%. I think a lot of people will, when they're new, they will start spending money on marketing, on lead generation, on all of those things. But in reality, just get a coach, get a real estate coach, and
That's the foundation.
that's the foundation. This is
Everything
how
else is
you,
just layers on
yes,
top of
this
it.
is how you develop your discipline. This is how you develop your processes. This is how you develop, this is how you role play. And this is how you learn to have uncomfortable conversations. Because let's face it, while everything looks incredible on Instagram, I don't know. I don't know about other agents, but I happen to have a lot of uncomfortable conversations throughout the week.
Yes. And you have to know how to
And
approach
you
it, and you
have
have to be
to,
confident, and you have
yes.
to know where when to press the gas and when to let it go a little
And you
bit.
also have to be a problem solver.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, people appreciate people, buyers and sellers, they hire an agent to solve their problems. And you have to be that.
Yeah.
You have to be.
I want to talk a little bit about I want to open up the curtains of the luxury real estate and talk a little bit about that because let's face it, this is where majority of your business is,
Mhm.
right? This is your forte, and I think that you have a lot of things that you can share with our audience in regards to that. So, my first question to you is, what is the craziest thing you've seen kill a real estate deal?
I would say egos.
Mm. Okay, why is that?
I think that sometimes people people's egos get in the way and nobody wins.
It's true. Yeah. Um, what is it something that sellers obsess over and buyers just couldn't care less about?
That's a great question. I think it really depends on the situation. Do you have any like? Let's talk about that. Let's
Yeah.
expand on
So
it.
you know what's interesting is so I know you and I sometimes have those moments, right? When I say, for example, I think we absolutely should add a fire pit outside,
Right.
and you say no, that's not where the emphasis should be, right? So you can guide me as a builder. Sometimes you can kind of reset my focus on this, but very often I hear from you when you represent other clients, right? And let's say you're listing a place for sale for someone and people highlight certain elements that are so near and dear to their heart, but you know at the end what what it is that will actually bring the sale to over the finish line, right? Or will make the place sell. And sometimes it's just not the feature that seller
A
is
hundred,
underlining.
100%, 100%. I think very often, if when I'm not dealing with a builder and I'm dealing with just a regular seller, um, they happen to have spent so many years in the home. They raised their family. They lived there for over 20 years, and they're attached to certain elements and certain things inside the home that worked for them, not realizing that the new generation of buyers that are out on the market now doesn't really care about the same things.
Yeah.
And that's the reality, and what's okay for. So I think um, part of a j- part of my job, or part of a job for any real estate agent, is to, when they look at a property and they prep a property, is to come, what is the story, what is the story that we're going to
I love
tell,
that.
what is the story that we're going to
Yeah.
tell the world, how are we going to pull the buyers into this home. And sometimes it's removing those attachments, and retelling the story, and sometimes it's capitalizing on whatever that story is
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
makes this property special. Like, for example, you and I, we've had properties that, we've purchased that were part of a, bigger, like Baker's estates. And remember?
Yes, there was so much history behind it, right?
Yeah, there was so much history behind it, and we incorporated that into the character of the home, into the sales process, into that overall story.
We even kept the masonry elements.
We kept the masonry elements, yes.
Yeah.
So I think it just really, um, it really depends on the situation, on the seller, but I definitely wouldn't get attached to, somebody's grandmother's dining room table.
Okay. What home features do you see people spend a fortune on, but it really doesn't increase the value?
I have seen people spend money on um, wine walls, some very elaborate wine walls and wine features, and I think that is just not for everyone.
Hmm. Okay. Do you think open houses are actually useful, or they're mostly for marketing for realtors, or maybe even?
That's a loaded question. So I think it really depends on the property, and it depends on the timing, and it depends on many, many factors, and on the market, of course. But I do think that open houses can be useful
Okay.
for buyers who are just coming in and they want to look around and assess. And yes, sometimes they do bring business in the door. But I've also sold many, many houses that never had a single open house. They've
Hmm.
just have been by private showings, and that works as well. It just really depends.
What? Okay. What is the biggest mistake in terms of pricing that you see sellers make?
That's a great that's a great question. I think very often sellers, by the time I come to meet with them, they already have a preconceived notion of what their house is worth and
Hmm.
how much they want to list it for.
Yeah.
And that always seems to, I would say, majority of cases, that number is higher than what the market will probably accept. And so those are interesting conversations to have with
Yes.
people.
I like how you talked. I hear you talk about the great disconnect that you've been talking about it a lot lately. So
Yes.
maybe talk a little bit about that. I love that part.
Well, yes. So I've been noticing after the spring market was great. But coming out of the spring market, I'm really seeing, I would say in the summer, kind of a gap that's developing between what a seller is expecting to get and where they're pricing their home versus what the buyer is willing to pay for that home. And I do think that there is quite a gap there, at least in the summer market. I don't know what's going to happen in the fall. I think the fall is going to close that gap a little bit, because fall markets are usually strong markets. Not as strong as the spring markets, but stronger than a summer market or a winter market. But I do think that there's a little bit of a disconnect between what a seller is hoping to net out and what a buyer is willing to offer
Hmm.
right now. And it's been quite interesting to see how this develops, because I've been in situations where very qualified buyers have submitted pretty strong offers and the seller just chose to walk away, not even negotiate.
Okay. No, totally. I definitely see this disconnect happening. And there's a lot of talk about this. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube where they talk exactly about that. And I think it will be interesting to see with economy being kind of in this weird like jigsaw like situation where it's like up down up down up down. We don't know what's going on with rates. It's you get like a good sentiment and like literally a couple of weeks later it's bad, good, bad, good,
Yeah,
bad, and it's just alternating. It's just adding a lot of uncertainty right now, and I think that's
definitely.
contributing to this pattern.
Definitely. And, we have also been seeing more properties coming back on the market where there's an accepted offer and then the buyer just gets cold feet or for whatever reason and the property is back on the market. Or we've been in situations where there are a couple of offers on the same property and a seller selects a buyer and then the buyer decides to back out, so it goes.
Yeah, the
Sometimes it
other way.
doesn't make it
Yeah,
on the market. Sometimes it doesn't come back on the market, but it just goes to the next buyer who submitted an offer on that property. And so you really have to be in tune with the market and really talk to your other colleagues to know what is really happening, because while there are news about the national numbers and behavior, I think our Metro West our Metro West is different. We have our own
microeconomics. Yeah,
economics here, and I think it's very different. It always has been.
I agree with that. I want to talk a little bit about the difference builder versus realtor. This is a subject that is so dear to our heart because we represent each side of that.
Yes.
So my question is this: what is something that realtors tell builders that builders never want to hear?
You want too much money for this property?
Oh,
Um,
but you have to understand the builders, and you actually
and I do.
right?
I understand. I understand this better than probably many,
Yeah.
because
And
I
can
wear
I just
both hats.
expand on
Yeah.
that? Even though it's you are the guest, but I do want to talk about this. When you look right now at the cost of the land, the cost of financing, local zoning requirements, the fluctuating cost of materials, all the labor issues. There's so much that is happening right now. It is extremely difficult to put together a good product that is a labor of love. And when you do that, you just want to be fairly compensated.
Yes. Yes. No, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. I think that when a builder aligns with an agent that will be representing that builder, that agent has to give the builder proper advice on where to spend the money. And I think the builders really do have to, if they have hired a real estate agent to sell their home and
Yeah.
they hired that agent early enough in the process, that means they fully trust that agent to deliver the best outcome. And if they truly trust that person, then they need to take their advice on where to spend the money
I love that.
and how to market it, and just be a good collaborator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
And we have that advantage because, we obviously have the same goal in mind, right? You and we're working toward the same outcome, right? So
right,
the trust factor is built in.
that's correct. So, but the
Although you
question,
don't always take my advice.
that's true, and therefore I have this question. So when we are arguing about design decisions, who is usually right?
So I feel like all of my answers, or many of my answers, start with "it depends." But it truly does depend, because there are some design features that I feel very strongly about, And in that case, I'm always right. And then there's
Of course.
some design features that I don't feel strongly about or don't have potentially a very strong opinion. If you're gonna ask me what type of tree you should put in like the back right corner, I probably don't have a very strong opinion about that, and my response is going to be whichever one you think is better. But if you're going to ask me what paneling we should do in the living room versus the dining room, or where we should do a feature wall, or where should we install a sconce? Do we need a sconce? Is it a recessed light or is it a light fixture? I have a lot of opinions, and they're pretty strong opinions. So
I agree. I think that I like to give my opinion when decision needs to be made fast, and also kind of like when we are closer to the finish line.
and you know what? I love your opinion in those cases. And I also
In
love
very narrow focus too.
no, 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 no,
Yes.
no. But I also think that I don't always, I sometimes get into analysis paralysis over very minor things. And then I do appreciate your opinion and ability to push me along and just make a decision or veto a decision
Let's
because
go.
let's go. Because
Team.
let's admit it. Like I trust your opinions probably as much as you trust mine. And so if I can't make a decision, somebody has to, and we just have to move on. And
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, so let's move on to. I want to talk a little bit about design trend. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
you know, there is that powder room in the house that I will not mention where I wanted to redo the paneling and you said no.
Right.
Yes. And after it got painted, I was like, okay, actually it looks pretty good.
That's right.
That could have cost you a lot of money.
That's true. Yes, but look, you can't always get it right 100%, right? Like you there's always that room for a little bit of error.
A little bit.
Yeah, so we try to minimize those. What is one trend that right now you're completely over?
Shiplap. Unless you're on the Cape, Nantucket, the Vineyard, or somewhere coastal, do not shiplap your entire house. I'm still seeing New England colonials that were built a year ago or even being built now that have shiplap everywhere. And it honestly just looks like it fell off a truck. You picked it up and you put it in the house. It is not called
Yeah, but what if it was
millwork.
what if it was on sale at one of the big stores and it was a good opportunity?
Then
It was a
don't
good
call it
opportunity, but
millwork. Call it, I got this
opportunity,
shiplap. Yes, this is
opportunity carpentry or something like
yes,
that. Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Definitely out. Shiplap is out.
On the other hand, what is one feature that you think houses that, let's say, if in $4 or $5 million range, must have?
Saunas. I think personal
That's my thing. So even more like spa experiences.
spa experiences. Yes, I think there is a big health movement. People are trying to work out more. I think there is a whole shift, at least here in the MetroWest area. I think people are trying to recreate spa experiences in their homes. And I think having a home spa is huge. And that could include a sauna, an oversized gym with a lot of equipment. It could be a steam room or a shower with a steam feature. But people are definitely a cold plunge. I mean,
Yeah. Um, so I want to talk a little bit about us and our partnership, right? Marriage, business, both of us. Would you recommend married couples to work together?
yes, 100%. Why not?
Why? Why yes?
I don't know. I think because it works for us, and I can't really imagine life where we're not working together. I think if people complement each other, then they should work together. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. What's the hardest part about being married to a spouse who's also entrepreneur?
Again, for me, I don't think there is a hard part because I'm just as insane as you are when it comes to the things that we do.
Right.
So I think I support it. I support all of it, and I don't. That's the only advice I can give.
Okay. Um, do you think we talk too much about business at home?
Yes. Yes, I don't think we have a line between, yeah, I just, yeah, we do.
Okay.
I think we talk about business all the time.
What do you think? Like, can you think of like any business disagreements that you and I had? Anything interesting or funny?
I don't know how much can I share on this podcast.
Well, we can always cut it out if it's
um, well, sometimes I do think that you want to do too much, and I am in my phase where I need a minute to breathe. So I think there's a little bit of misalignment there.
yeah.
What would you say?
Um, yeah, I probably I agree with that. Yes. I think that I have my retirement goal or my certain goal where I want to be. Um, let's say for every 5 years, and I'm just trying to stay on top of that and achieve that, and to move on to the next phase. And that's kind of where I'm coming from on this. And sometimes maybe it does seem a little bit relentless, but there is a I'd like to think that there is actually there's a strategy behind it, right? I'm not just like shooting off the cuff.
No, no, there's of
Yeah.
course always strategy. And I think what makes this work is that we're always aligned on the strategy.
Yeah.
I'm not always aligned on the exact pace
The timing, yeah.
and the timing,
I understand.
but I would say for the most part, 90% of the time, everything aligns.
Yeah. Who do you think is a bigger risk taker, you or me?
Again, it depends on what it is, but I would say that we're both pretty crazy risk takers. What do you think?
Um yeah, it's tough. It's like we alternate.
We do alternate
We alternate, but I want to say probably
responsibly.
yes, probably me. I would say it's 60-40.
Mm,
No?
can it be like
55-45?
probably
Okay, 55-45. I will give you that. But
or like 52-48
okay, fine. 52-48.
or maybe 50? I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right. After 25 years of being together, what is something that you've learned about building a life with an ambitious person?
Let's just go with it. It just, you know what? What's the saying? If you can't something join them.
Yes, if you can't beat them, join them.
If you can't
Yeah.
beat them, join them.
Oh,
That's it. This is where I'm at. If I can't beat you, I'm joining you.
oh, I love that. I love that. So talking about that, so let's talk a little bit about money and success, right? Let's try to unpack that. Um, because we're immigrants. Obviously, we came here.
Yeah.
Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Zero. You're trying to grow.
Less than zero.
Right. And you try to grow and try to achieve that American dream. But by the way, American dream, but there's no like certainty with it, right? Like you don't know how to get there, and you also don't know what it looks like when it's done.
There's no roadmap.
Right? So what does enough look like to you?
I think enough to me is when I no longer enjoy this, whatever this is. That's when it's going to be enough. For as long as I am loving this insane pace, as long as I have incredible people that I get to work with, which is a huge privilege. Yeah, I think that's my definition.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think that, well, kind of repeat a little bit of what you said. I think that at some point it is becoming more of a game, right? I look at it as a game in terms of like levels. How far can I take it? How far can I grow? And and that growth, it's not just me. It's like lifting all the boats that are around, right?
Yeah.
It's the team. And I'm talking about like everyone, right? Like the immediate team, the employees, the vendors, right? Like it's just amazing to see everyone grow. And I
Yeah.
think that that's like how far, like when is it enough? Well, if you're creating a lifestyle or work style that you don't need to retire from or stop, then why stop?
Yeah.
I'll just keep going for as long as I can. Um, so
I
talk.
agree with you.
All right, all right. Thank you. So talking about, I want to talk a little bit about, we as entrepreneurs, very often we are so caught up in the moments or in the cycle, just keep running, 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 but that we don't slow down to reward ourselves, right? So talk a little bit about that. Like, what's important to you in terms of creating that balance of work hard, but then also play hard or rest hard. For you, what does it look like? What is that? What is that? It's not even, it's hard to call it a balance because when you're a business owner, it's not really a balance. But what does the puzzle look like for you?
I think a lot of people think that when you work for yourself, you have all this insane amount of time or downtime or flexibility. And I would say working for yourself is actually quite the opposite. You do not have, you work harder, you just end up working harder. So for me, I think the balance is, and granted, our kids are older right now, right? So
Yes.
of course, spending time with them, and we've definitely ramped up since they've become, as they've been getting older, right?
Yes.
Obviously, family time is extremely important to me. A couple of vacations a year is great, but I also, for me personally, I do need that. I do need my quiet time when I'm probably just at home, like reading or watching TV. And I probably need that couple of hours at least once a week just to myself, to
Yeah.
reset, to just to reset and to start feeling more creative.
Yeah.
I need the downtime. I can go, 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 go. And then I need my downtime to continue.
Yeah. I believe that we as entrepreneurs should be celebrating our achievements. We don't do that enough. Very often we just run from one to another, just basically like a hamster
Well,
in a
you don't even
wheel.
take any downtime. You need zero downtime.
Right. Where I wanted to go with this is talk a little bit about what is your definition of rewarding yourself? Um, what's the what is a gift? I understand that I can buy it, but let's say we're not talking about that. You as entrepreneur, you want to reward yourself. What would that reward look like for you nowadays?
Nowadays, maybe the thought of knowing that I can just go and do something. I can just get up and book that vacation, or I can just go in and buy, whatever it is that I want to buy, whether it's jewelry or a bag, like just
Yeah.
knowing that I can. It doesn't mean that I will, it doesn't mean that, but just knowing that I can
Yeah.
is probably, yeah, it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Do you want me to like be
Is
specific about names?
no need, but I will ask you this. Um, what is what is one luxury item that maybe you bought for yourself that you think is just an absolutely ridiculous purchase?
Um, I probably would say my Dior bag, the medium book tote, that is bigger than me.
What fits in it?
Oh my God, everything. I think we can fit Jax, who's, 80 pounds into
A
that bag.
boxer.
Yeah, he's about, yes, we can probably fit him into that,
Oh,
into
God.
that bag. But yeah, I felt like I needed to reward myself that time and I got it.
I love that. I love that. Well, I want to talk a little bit about kind of builder versus realtor rapid fire round.
Love it. Let's do
Okay,
it.
let's do it. So, what is worth the money and what is a waste of money? Okay.
Well,
But
am I
answer
being the
fast.
realtor or am I being the agent? Or like, what hat am I wearing?
You're being realtor.
Okay.
Yes, you're being an
Okay.
agent. All right. Pool,
Worth it.
golf simulator,
Worth it.
sauna,
Worth it.
outdoor kitchen.
Worth it.
I will get one in the next house. Wine room,
Not for everyone.
home gym,
Worth it.
second kitchen, scullery,
Yes, worth it.
elevator.
Not for everyone, but worth it.
Okay. How about heated driveway?
No. It depends. My
Okay.
favorite response. If
This was
you're
supposed
on,
to be fast, but let's unpack
but
that.
yeah, but if you're on the hill, right?
Yes.
If you're on the hill and I'm your agent and you're my builder and you're asking me, give me a couple of things that will substantiate or support the price, I would probably say heated driveway is a yes. But if it's totally flat, I would probably say it's a no.
Got it. Yes. No, that makes sense. If by the way, if you think about the ROI factor, I think it's not worth it. If you compare,
Right.
because
it's,
if you, how much does it cost to plow a driveway? How much does it cost?
I have no idea.
Let's say 200, for example, $200
Yes.
per driveway if it's a long
Yes.
driveway, right? So let's say on average, how many times will you do this throughout typical New England winter?
Maybe
Let's say
10.
10?
10?
Fine, let's do 10.
Okay.
That's $2,000 a year, right? So to execute a driveway, heated driveway, it'll probably cost you all in somewhere between $50,000 to $60,000. So that it will take you 30 years
To get them.
to get this money back. So if you really want that convenience, get it. But if you're focused on ROI, then I think you're better off just hiring someone to do that driveway.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, we do have clients that have asked for heated driveways, and I think it's a wonderful feature.
Yes. Very personal.
$100,000 appliance package.
Ah.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, why?
Because I don't like to cook personally. But I also think that not every buyer potentially will appreciate $100,000 worth of appliances in your kitchen. I think you can get nice solid Thermador or even Sub-Zero for less.
Okay. Again, this is more of a personal choice, right?
Yeah, personal choice.
Yeah.
Personal choice.
I have a few more questions.
Yes.
Okay. This you can expand like maybe one sentence if you don't mind. So Needham or Wellesley?
Oh, this is hard.
It's not supposed to be easy. First episode.
Well, I love Needham. I think Needham, but
This is where your office is going to be.
Yes,
so
this
of
is
course,
one of my yes, and this is where we raised our family. So I think Needham is incredible. I think Wellesley is beyond incredible as well, and I just really think it depends on what you're looking for.
You know what? I feel like I need to be part of the answer to this question.
Okay.
I think when we changed the center of Needham,
Oh, that's right. When we change the center of Needham,
once we take on that mission and
Yes.
once we change it, then we will see.
yes. But
Okay.
I do, to your point, I do think Wellesley has an incredible center, town center.
Yeah,
And it's
I
a
agree.
huge draw among many other things that Wellesley offers.
Yeah. New construction or beautiful old home?
I think new construction that looks timeless and presents timeless.
Love it. Kitchen or primary suite?
Kitchen,
Pool or finished basement?
finished basement,
City or Cape?
city,
Buy the best house or buy the best street?
Um, I would buy the best house given where we live right now because the street is just going to level up at some point.
Okay. Realtors that you respect most.
I have met many that I respect quite a bit in the area, and I would say most of them share, without naming names, but most, which I can, most of them, I would say all of them are have certain qualities, and those qualities are very collaborative, um, willing to share information, are able to offer mentorship, advice, and just people that I feel comfortable calling and asking questions. And I've
Yeah,
been fortunate enough to have quite a few of those people in my life, and I really appreciate having them.
definitely. I agree with that. Um, Best room in our house.
Best room in our house, the living room.
My favorite is the sauna.
Oh, why are you asking?
That's my favorite room. Uh, Worst design trends right now.
Worst design trends right now. Shiplap.
Oh, okay. Who is more stubborn, you or me?
Me, definitely me.
Who's more competitive?
Me, as long as it's not a physical competition.
No, not at the gym. Um, so
Oh, what do you think? Who's more stubborn?
you,
And who's more competitive?
um,
Not at the gym.
you maybe. Okay.
You're giving me a bad rap.
How much of success in real estate is skill versus personality versus hustle?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um, I would say hustle opens the door, personality builds relationships, and skill gets the job done. You need all three to be a good agent.
Oh, I love that answer. That is a good one. So, I wanted to ask you, there are a couple more questions here on my list. Who do you think is more likely to retire first, you or me?
Oh, probably me.
Oh, all right. Fine. Final question. What is the one question that you were hoping that I wouldn't ask you today?
Um, if I will work with other builders.
Then I will ask that question.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. We're done. This has been great. First episode in the books. We don't even have a name selected, but I'm so happy that we finished the studio and you were able to come in and give us some time. And I think it was a really good conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you
No,
for being my first guest.
you're welcome. Thank you for having me as your first guest. I know you've been working really hard to put the studio together. I think the initial deadline was it January 15th?
I think we had several deadlines. We had a December deadline, then we
Okay.
had a January deadline. Then
Then
the point is,
you got
we
there.
got it done.
You got it done.
We got it
and
done, and we got it done in the month of August.
Yes.
And it's summer vacation time. It's slower, right? The pace is slower. It's hotter, but we got it done, and I'm happy about
Yes.
that.
And you know what? At the end of the day, only you can actually bring this over the finish line, considering how much other stuff you have in the works and you're bringing over the finish line. So I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I
Good job.
appreciate it. But I have to give a lot of credit to Liam,
Yes.
who is in the background here, who is Liam. Thank you. Liam and our videographer too. I think guys have done a great job. But like I said, Liam, like putting all of this together, coming up with a concept, adjusting my mic, all of that,
Yes.
like all those little details. You
Yes.
just don't realize how much stuff, how much detail goes into everything here, you know, like the lighting, this, the plant, like all this. It's just, you have to think of everything.
By the way, I am missing that plant in our house.
I know quite a few things were
Yes.
borrowed from our house and they will probably never make it back, but
Yes.
that's okay. Again, thank you. And till the next episode.
Yes.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
guys, we did it.
My next appearance will be next August.